So out of high school, what I was mainly worried about is, first of all, just starting school. I didn't know what to do again. Um, I thought it was rush. I'm like, I'm just getting out of high school. Now I'm going to college. I have to know what I want to do, and I'm not 100% sure, but I want to at least get started with obviously those general courses that everybody has to do. Um, at the beginning, what I'd say it was the most challenging was obviously the financial part of it because college is very expensive. Thankfully, I got to go to a community college where I did my generals, where it's not as much cost as other schools, but I still received so much help from Wallin, where I got to like do more activities outside. I got to spend a little more time with my family, and obviously maybe work a little less because I had that financial help, which is mainly one of the main things when you go to college. You don't know how much it's gonna be per semester, with your Chromebooks, with your electronics, books, all that stuff, which adds up eventually. So I think because I have that financial help, and money saved up, I was able to focus more on school and get what I needed to get done rather than being overworked or just asking for like tons of loans from the bank or something. So I think definitely Wallen took that financial load, just like lighten it, and made me have a better experience overall with school. I've grown definitely on my speech. English is not my first language, so I got to talk a lot with my advisor, and I feel like with writing too, when we have to do like our reviews on, hey, how's school going? Because on Wallen, like at the end of your semester, they kind of want to see what you're thinking, how you're feeling. So I gotta practice on my writing. I got to practice on my resume, which is super important. I didn't think so at the beginning, but now I'm like, yes, it's so important. So definitely on my writing skills. I also got a ton of support from my advisor. So when I had papers for school, he was there helping me, reviewing my papers. So it's awesome. Having someone like Joelle in my corner has felt like a friend, family. I would say our first meeting, we went to eat at a like Indian palace, I believe it was the restaurant, and we got to try various different foods. I've never really had Indian food before then, so I was having a blast. I got this smoothie, this like maple syrup or something dessert. It was awesome. And Joel and I are both foodies, so it's where we can connect a ton. And beyond food, obviously we got to know each other a ton on our first meeting. Then it went from food to also like talking about our hobbies, what we like, going to the gym, traveling, and we got to interact a ton there. Similar with my education, he was always checking in, making sure that like I did receive the financial help, that it went through my school, and always just catching up, like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. When can we meet so we can have like a meeting? We would go either for food, talk about like stocks. We love to talk about business, so just random stuff. He's family. So I hope you guys get an amazing scholar just like I did, and I'm sure you will. Everybody seems amazing. I think obviously at the beginning, getting to know somebody for the first time, it's like it's always awkward. It's always like, oh, you gotta put yourself out there. But as long as you're yourself and you open up and you're willing to open up as well, you're gonna get that support. You're gonna just feel that it can go beyond just being like, meetings, talking. You can have a friend. With my English homework, I remember specifically one time I was doing this whole essay about an argumentative essay, and I always struggle with writing. So I came to Joelle, I'm like, hey, can you check this out for me? I usually use AI, like we have this paper generator essay where it's like, grade your essay. But I'm like, no, I want a person to actually check it for me, give me feedback, see what I can improve. So I came to Joel, and I think he was busy, but he still like grabbed me in, and he's like, let me check your paper, send it to me. And he reviewed it, and I get an A. So we're good. He was amazing. So I really appreciated that, especially because I don't remember how I was doing, but it was a very important paper that evaluated our whole grade. Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, it's actually Dr. Joel.
Oh!
I'm sorry, doctor. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I believe my advisor sees potential in me, and I would say an example is with writing. I always like, no, I'm not good. No, you got this. Same with when I was doing my resume for dental assisting. He's always been there encouraging me, and through everything, I have always prospered with God and with the help of my advisor. So. And family, of course, and friends. We just talk about everything. It's like having a friend, like a best friend. When we meet every single time, and we just catch up on so many things, travelings, food. What do you think about this? Oh, definitely try that out. You're gonna love it. Have you been here? And it's just when you have a family meeting, not the awkward way, but like the fun way. Without Wallin and my advisor, I feel like obviously I would have to probably work more. I would have more challenges in getting some help. I know I could always ask my family members, but both my parents are still learning English with writing and reading, so I always try AI as well, but it's not the same as having an actual person. We can always go with teachers, advisors from school, but it's when you build a close relationship with your Wallin scholar, it's just so much easier to talk to them and get their help. So without Wallin in general, without the financial support of the sponsors, it would have been, as a student, just so much harder to focus on school. Okay, guys. AI is not the same as just having somebody there for you who can give you value feedback and talk to you in what you can improve. AI just corrects it, tells you this is wrong. Not my advisor, not Wallin's advisors. So you got that? First of all, welcome to Wallin. Congratulations, you made it here. I'm so excited for you, as when I first heard it that I got the scholarship. So congrats again. My Wallin advisor is family and is going to be family even after I am done graduating this year. So I'm super glad for the experience. I'm so thankful for our sponsors as well. And I'm so grateful I'm here, being able to give you guys my experience. And hopefully yours will be the same. Welcome to the Wallin community. Welcome, guys, to the Wallin community.
When I was applying to college, I was really worried about how I was going to afford college specifically, and I was also concerned with whether I wanted to stay in Minneapolis or if I wanted to go out of Minneapolis, because I was born and raised in Minneapolis. So it was a long debate between staying in Minneapolis, going to Duluth, going to Chicago, and then my biggest worry was about paying for college, which Wallin helped me a lot with. So I've become a Wallin Scholar. I feel like I've grown in being able to understand myself more, and I think I've become a lot more extroverted and a lot more empathetic for people, and I've been able to put myself out there in situations, especially in college events and getting to know people, and I feel like that's helped me become a lot more true to myself since then. My advisor is always in my corner, and it feels very comforting to know that I have somebody who's always willing to listen to me, and she always gives me wonderful advice, especially great academic advice, and it's always so just reassuring to know that I can rely on her like that. My favorite thing about my Wallin Scholar is that we can agree on things together and talk about things, and we both have a creative outlet that we can share. We love to do crafts together, and we love to talk about thrifting, and we just have so much in common, and it makes everything feel so natural and like I can really tell her about anything that's on my mind. My favorite thing about my Wallin advisor is that we both share a lot of things in common. We can talk about movies and about thrifting, and we both share a creative outlet together, so we can work with our hands together while talking about anything that's on our minds. She sees a strong person in me that sometimes I have a hard time seeing for myself, and she always believes in me, and even when I am feeling really stressed and down, she always gives me best advice, and she's always like, you can do it, I know you have it in you, and she's so encouraging like that. My advisor sees in me that I am a strong and confident person that I sometimes don't always see in myself. I know that she always believes in me, and whenever I'm feeling stressed and down and I ask her for advice, she's always encouraging, and she always tells me, I know you can do it, you have it in you, and she just believes in me even when I don't believe in myself. I remember a time when something unexpected happened was when I had to move suddenly over the summer out of my childhood home, and I was battling between finding an apartment to be in and making sure I was still on track for college, and I was also feeling really stressed with all the world events going on, specifically the rise of artificial intelligence and generated images. And I remember meeting with Pong and telling her about all the stresses I was going through and how unsure I was feeling about everything, and she just gave me the most wonderful advice and just comforted me and gave me direction when I felt like I didn't know where I was going, and I just really appreciated having her by my side in that moment. Without Wallin, I feel like my journey would have been a lot more uncertain, and I would have been working a lot harder at all of my jobs to be able to afford college. Not only were they able to support me financially, I also had a wonderful advisor to help direct me through all the academic struggles that I didn't know who else to speak to about that. And I feel like Wallin as a company and an organization as a whole really set me on track for graduation and graduating early and just making sure I was prepared and ready for college. Without Wallin, I feel like my journey would have been a lot more uncertain. Not only were they able to support me financially, but they also paired me with a wonderful advisor that was able to direct me when I felt like I didn't really know where I was going. So I really appreciate them for all the work that they did for me. Wallin's advising is unique because not only do they try to pair you with an advisor that they think would match your personality, and they do a good job at it, they also allow you to be able to meet in more comfortable positions, such as like getting lunch somewhere or meeting somewhere close to your living space at the time. Welcome to the Wallin community.
One more time with a little more bravado.
Welcome to the Wallin community.
Perfect.
My hope for you is that you're able to find a community in your space and you're able to find comfort in your advisor like I found comfort in mine. Just remember that you can talk to them about anything, whether it's related to academics or not.
Was just the idea of not knowing what my future would hold. Kind of just being in this unknown and trying to figure things out, but at the same time not having all the answers. And so I remember those times where I felt uncertainty, I felt doubt. I was getting applications for different colleges and trying to figure out what college would be the right one for me, trying to find out the pros and cons of the colleges and ultimately what I wanted to do in college. I think that was a big challenge for me in high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in the future. Like anytime my mom would ask me, I'd just say I don't know. That was kind of something that weighed on me in my senior year because everybody was kind of expecting me to have an idea when I didn't. And so I would say those were kind of the things I was carrying as I was applying for college. Since I've become a Wallin Scholar, I feel more acceptance or more accepting of talking to other people, asking for advice. I think a bad trait of mine in high school was maybe not asking for advice, asking for guidance, thinking that I had all the answers. And I think Wallin made me realize that it is okay to ask for advice. It is okay to have somebody in your corner and to back you up, because that'll only boost your potential even more. And so I would say that through Wallin, I was able to feel more comfortable asking for advice, asking for guidance, and ultimately using that guidance. I think through Wallin, I was able to be more accepting of asking for advice and asking for guidance. I think in high school, maybe it was confidence, or maybe it was I was just too scared to kind of ask for advice. In high school, I guess I wasn't really that type of student to kind of be out there and ask for advice or guidance. And so I think through Wallin and through having talks with my advisor, I was able to feel more comfortable and more open into asking for advice and asking for guidance when I had felt lost. My favorite thing about my advisor is the cultural connection that we have. I would say we're both Southeast Asian, and so we are able to have a lot of similar discussions, maybe about food, about culture, about family. And I think because of our similarities in our backgrounds, I feel like she is able to understand me more when I'm talking, kind of see my point of view, because she, grew up in a similar maybe culture and background. And so I would say that that is something that I really cherish with my advisor. And I would also say that she's a very welcoming person, I would say. I don't feel like I have to dim my light down because of her, or I feel comfortable in sharing whatever it is that I would like to share with her. And so I think those are some of the things that I really like about my advisor. I think my advisor is kind of always encouraging me and I guess giving me affirmation of what I am doing. I think that when you're in college, everything kind of goes by really quickly, and you don't even see, or you don't even reflect on the experiences or what you've done up to this point. And so every time I have talks with her, she is always reminding me of kind of my accomplishments, of my experiences, and it makes me realize that I have come a long way since high school and since even a freshman in college. She's constantly giving me that reminder of my growth, and that is something that I really appreciate about our relationship. I think that my advisor sees me for, I guess, my accomplishments and things that I've done in my college, at my time in college. I think that in college, as you're doing all of these things, you're having all these experiences, going to classes, and I think that you tend to forget about the things that you've done up to the point. You're kind of only worried about what you're doing now and what you have going on in the future. And so every time I talk to my advisor, she is always reminding me of my accomplishments, of what I've done in the past, and reminds me that I am growing and I am having successes. And so that is what I really appreciate about her. I think that one of the I guess more unfortunate events in my life would probably be at the end of my first semester of college. My grandma had passed away, and so this is kind of the first big loss that I had experienced, and so it was a new feeling, new experience, and something that I had trouble navigating at first. But with conversation with my advisor and just kind of through talking about how I felt and the emotions I was feeling and kind of being able to process those emotions, I think really helped me through that time. I think that because of the conversations I had with her, I was able to kind of find peace in the trying time. And not even just that, also other inconveniences that's happened in my life, like just more personal stuff. I think I opened up to my advisor many times just over other things that's happening in my life. And so I think that is what's great with having this relationship between me and my advisor, is that I'm able to have those conversations with her, and she's always just open to hearing. And so, yeah. Because of Wallin, I think that I've been able to really build a good foundation for myself through kind of just being more confident in my own abilities. I think that through the discussions I've had with my advisor and all the advice she's given me, I think that my confidence compared to freshman year till now has increased a lot. And that goes a long way when you are going into new spaces with new people. And I think it's just good to have that confidence in yourself, to be yourself in these new spaces, and to kind of give yourself that chance to really put yourself out there. I think that because of Wallin, I've been able to really build confidence in myself. So that's what I really appreciate about it. Well, I think advising matters because you are going to go into times of your lives where you are experiencing something for the first time, something new for the first time. You're going to feel lost. You're going to have no idea what to do. And I think that through talking with other people, they are able to kind of guide you onto this path that is totally unknown, that you have no idea what you're going to be putting yourself into. And I think just getting that advice and getting just having conversations, I think allows you to really be able to succeed in your path in whatever it is that you choose to do. I think that life gets very difficult at times, and it's always important to have people beside you. Just having those people to support you, I think gives you a really great opportunity to just go through the obstacles that you might have to face. Welcome to the Wallin community. Welcome to the Wallin community. I hope that through Wallin and through having a relationship with your advisor, I hope that you are able to experience the feeling of being comfortable and being open with sharing your struggles, your goals, your just everyday experiences with someone else, someone that has a good amount of experience as well. I think that is something that I've gotten in my experience with Wallin, and something that I hope you get through Wallin as well. My hope is that you are able to receive the same openness and feeling of just being open with your advisor like I did. I think through Wallin I was really able to experience comfortability with another person that has more experience and just overall life experiences. And I think that in having those conversations, having somebody, an advisor in this case, to really support you, I think that I hope that you find those same feelings.
Hello, my name is Salim Ali, he, him pronouns, and I am a 2025 Wallin Scholar. I remember I was being told it was just an interview, just a surprise interview. Like, they didn't really describe it in detail. I remember being brought into the auditorium, and I was kind of a little bit confused. I was a little bit disappointed. My hair wasn't perfect, but when I got sat down, the camera was in front of me, and I got asked questions. I remember specifically that I answered, I didn't know what college I was going to at that time. And that was a stressor for me, because what college you're going to is pretty important. The financial aid that you have is pretty important. So that was the main concern on my mind before Wallin. I remember throughout the interview, I slowly was picking up pieces and trying to figure out what this interview was about. And by like 50 to 60% of the way through, I figured it out. And I just felt like a rush of containment. I think you can see it in the video where I'm just like smiling ear to ear before they even announce it officially. So I was very excited to receive Wallin because it made what college I was going to that much easier. So this is my second Wallin interview. My last one was a surprise interview at my high school where they gave me where it was announced that I got the Wallin scholarship. It was a surprise interview. The Wallin team, some of the Wallin team, like our cameraman, was also here. I was a 2025 Wallin Scholar, had the surprise interview last year. I'm here again. The surprise interview gave me the Wallin Scholarship, where I was slowly catching on to that it was a surprise scholarship acceptance. I remember hearing some of the questions that were going on. At the end, we also got asked, how would you feel if you got a scholarship that could help you decide your financial aid? And that really secured in my mind that it was a surprise video, and it just made me overjoyed, really. Since becoming a Wallin Scholar, I feel like I have a much stronger community and network to be able to rely on. I've been to a few Wallin events where I've been able to meet people both as Wallin faculty and Wallin students or Wallin scholars. And I've been able to build new friends, build new connections, and all of these experiences have made me into a better person. Having my Wallin advisor in my corner feels like always being able to go to someone with anything that I'm having trouble with. Usually for me, it is financial aid or classes, but it can also mean anything that I'm having trouble with in my social circle or any struggles I have with just general day-to-day life. It's very easy and reliable for me to be able to go to Fury during any of our meetings. I think my advisor sees in me that I don't see in myself is probably maybe confidence, honestly. I think my advisor sees that I'm very open and willing to make decisions. And I think she's mentioned this before in a few of our meetings that I don't see that in myself. Something unexpected that happened to me recently that my advisor helped me navigate was at the beginning of this semester, I got hit with an unexpected financial payment to my university where I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how to navigate it, and I was able to contact Fury and talk to her about what my financial aid office was saying and be able to communicate with her so that she could give me the next steps to be able to go back to the financial office and clear up the payment that I had that I wasn't expecting. Something that happened to me unexpectedly that my Wallin advisor helped me with was during the beginning of this semester, I had an unexpected financial payment that was due and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I was able to reach out to Fury and communicate with her what the financial aid office was telling me and be able to get the next few steps that were able to help me clear up my financial aid payment and be set for this semester. Without Wallin, I would have been very confused about what I was doing for this upcoming school year. I just did not have a clue what I was going to do for my college or what degree I was going to do or what classes I was going to take. So having my Wallin advisor in my corner to be able to talk to about everything and just sort through my thoughts was very helpful for me. I believe advising matters because you always just need to be able to talk to someone about your thoughts and what's going through your head and whatever questions that you may have. Because at the end of the day, we don't know everything when we're a freshman in college or a sophomore in college. So just having someone in your corner that you can say, how do I do this? Like, what do I do about this? How do I figure out what degree I want to do is just so helpful, and it just sets you on the right path. Welcome to the Wallin community. Hey, 2026 Wallin scholars. I hope that you get to experience having a great Wallin advisor that helps you with everything that you may be troubled with during this upcoming school year. The first semester of college is very difficult for basically everyone, but having your Wallin advisor that can be there to support you, that is very caring, and that can listen to any of the issues or problems you may have is going to be very helpful for you. And I hope that this upcoming school year is wonderful.
Hi, my name is Avriel. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a 2024 Wallin Scholar. When I was a senior in high school, the main thing that I would say was the very easiest thing that I've done was applying for college. That was the easiest step that I would say that happened. And it was very difficult to understand any of the details of how that looked like, seeing myself in college, really. It was a very new step for me. It was a very difficult experience because I've never done that before and I didn't have anybody around me that had gone to college. So it was very difficult trying to get all the answers. But Wallin, after applying for the Wallin scholarship, my advisor helped me understand more of the process and understand more of how the whole experience looks like, and really helping me embrace learning how to understand myself more. Yeah. Since becoming a Wallin Scholar, I would say that I've grown in a lot of planning ways, in a lot of ways where I can plan things, I can organize myself. I would say that before becoming a Wallin Scholar, I would have been more going with the flow with a lot of things, a lot of important things in my life. And I would say that becoming a Wallin Scholar has taught me a lot of ways and a lot of strategies that I can use to plan things ahead. And even beyond that, I would say now my level of organization has gone a lot better because of the experiences I've had as a Wallin Scholar. And another thing I would say that I've grown in my life is my social skills in general, because being a Wallin Scholar and having participated in so many activities and different events, I have had the chance to learn how to communicate better with people around me and how to express myself in a better way. A Wallin advisor in my corner feels reassuring, and it feels very wonderful because it really feels like someone who believes in you and someone who's there to support you in a lot of the ways that you want to go, and specifically your career in college too. And that experience as a whole is very refreshing and very helping, especially if you don't have someone around you that has gone to college or that has had those sort of experiences. So it's some sort of mentorship in a way that gives you a lot of answers, that gives you a lot of clarity and a lot of support for the decision you choose to make in college. My advisor sees in me a good ability to communicate with people. I would say ever since the very first events that Walling had made during the summer, there was a lot of moments where he saw a good level of communication skills in me that I didn't see in myself. And it took a bunch of moments, a lot more moments like that, for me to realize that it's not so bad and it's not a horrible experience to communicate better. And so I think the main thing that he has seen in me that it took time for me to realize is that it's not too difficult for me to communicate with other people in an effective way. Very recently, I've had a lot of issues with transportation, specifically with my car. That is the most reliable thing that I use to get around, to get to work, to get to school. And I've had a lot of stress with figuring out how to go through with that situation because I didn't really have a lot of things to fall back on for that situation. My advisor, Joel, has helped me in a lot of ways with a lot of support, a lot of help and encouragement. And I think I attribute the reason why I beat this moment was because of him. And after going through that experience, I don't really see a way that I would have gone through it and succeeded in it without his help. Without Wallin, I don't think I would have been able to get out of my shell more in general. I think due to all the events and all the moments that I've had that I shared with my Wallin advisors and other Wallin scholars, I think that was the main push that forced me to get out of my shell more. I would say in high school, compared to high school, I was more to myself, and I still think I am more to myself now, but I think I feel more comfortable and feel more at ease with the fact that I can stay around people and be myself and feel normal about it. Advising matters because it gives you guidance, and to me specifically, it gives you help and assurance with a lot of the questions you may have, a lot of the issues you may be going through. Especially with college, it's a very difficult moment for some people because they don't know where to go or they don't know how things look. And I would say it's a changing time for you too, because a lot of people go to college to find themselves, and in a way advising can really direct you in the way that you want to go, but give you that little push and that extra bit of information to achieve it in the best way possible. I love having an advisor because, and specifically this advisor too, because he understands me and he is very caring in the way that he communicates. I feel like I learned a lot of the ways to communicate with other people through mirroring him and observing the way he does. And I think in general with advising, I have had the chance to pick up a few skills from my advisor and from the process in general in a way that I can use and apply to a lot of situations in my life. So something I would want a new Wallin students to experience is a sense of belonging and a sense of community, because the Wallin Scholarship really offers and paves a way for communities to be created. And it's a very good system to reinforce each other and to create connections that last beyond your time, even in the scholarship in general. Welcome to the Wallin community. Welcome to the Wallin community.
My name is Maider. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a 2023 Wallin Scholar. I am a first-generation college student, and with that, I was like the first person in my family to go to college. And so it was really hard for me to even apply because I had no idea what were the first steps. I had no idea what kind of questions I should be asking my counselors or like my teachers. I felt like I was just doing everything on my own. And becoming a Wallin scholar, I felt really supported, and I felt like, having someone that was in my corner to kind of help me navigate my journey through college. It felt very encouraging. It felt really motivating as well. I feel like I have become more confident in myself, honestly, because throughout my entire high school years, I was always that student that was always waiting for other people to take the initiative or to, talk to me first. But after becoming a Wallin Scholar and also talking to my Wallin advisor and asking her questions, it kind of made me feel like, why don't I become someone like that for another person? I could do it too, because when I think back about my high school year, I'm like, I'm always to myself. I'm always talking to the people I know. I never reach out to others. And I know that feeling of like wanting to do more, but you're afraid to do it because you don't feel confident. And so after becoming a Wallin Scholar, I have grown so much more confident in myself and feel like I could help other people that, have like that kind of journey like me. I feel so grateful to have Ping as my advisor, because I feel like being the first person in my family to go to college, it was very overwhelming because not only was I carrying like academic burdens, I was also carrying my family burdens as well, and I felt like I have to succeed no matter what. But Ping was always there, and she was so understanding, and she wasn't just there to help me with academic advice, she was there to help me personally as well, and also give me advice on how to be myself, how to do better each day, how to navigate beyond academic. And that means a lot to me. A moment, there's so many moments, but my favorite one or the most memorable one would be my first meeting with her when I was in freshman year. I was telling her that I was struggling so much in this class because it was a lecture hall and there was over 100 students in there, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know who I should be reaching out to. I'm so confused right now in this class. Who should I be talking to? Because I can't even talk to the professor. She is talking to 100 other students. What am I doing? And paying, instead of telling what to do, she was listening to me. She was validating my feelings and telling me that this is a normal thing. However, you could also do this. And also I still remember she telling me that you are capable of this, my dear. You can do it no matter what. I believe in you. And those words mean so much to me at that moment, and even now, because it's I can do it. No matter how hard the situation, no matter how hard the class is, I'll be okay. I felt most supported when I had my first meeting with my advisor in my freshman year of college, where I was struggling in one class because it was a lecture hall full of over 100 students. And coming from a smaller high school where I knew most of my classmates, it felt really weird to be in a classroom full of students that are all different ages, from different years, from different backgrounds, and having a professor that was, so busy with other students. I felt like I had no one to reach out to. I had no idea where to ask for help. And going to my advisor to just talk about my struggle in this class, I felt so supported. I felt that I felt like I could do much more, and I felt you know what, no matter how hard a class is, no matter how hard the situation is, I could do it because I am capable of doing that. And with my advisor telling me and encouraging me that you can do it, this class is just a class. Think of it as just another task that you gotta get done. Hearing those kind of advice, hearing those kind of words, it made me felt like this is something that I can do, Even if it's hard, if I could get through this, I could get through another thing as well. My favorite thing about working with my advisor is just being able to talk about anything. It's not always just about academics. I feel like I could talk to them about what is happening in my personal life as well, and also just being able to rant to them about something that I'm facing. So I feel like it's not just having Wallin advisors are not just an academic advisor. They are there for me to talk about other stuff beyond academic. And would be when I was in sophomore year and I was having a lot of personal issues with friends and also people from school. And it was affecting me personally, but not only that, but it was also affecting me academically as well. And just being able to talk to my Wallin advisor about what I was going through. And, they weren't just listening to me, they were giving me advice, and not only advice, but resources to go to as well. As a college student, I feel yes, I know how to navigate college. However, I feel there's so many other resources as well on campus that I have no idea that it existed and that it's there to help me. My Wallin advisor was that person that was giving me these resources and telling me that you're not alone, there's this as well. And I'm giving you this not for you to do it, but for you to look at it. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You you decide what you want to do. And to me, that was so helpful because I was like, there's so many things on my plate right now. Like, are they just going to give me another task to do? But no, like with that kind of advice, it felt like I could look at it, and if I want to do it, I could do it later or do it when I'm ready to do it. With Wallin, I was able to build my confidence and learn how to help other people that has the same journey as me. And I'm just so grateful that like I was able to have this kind of experience, because I feel like without Wallin, I wouldn't even know about myself. I wouldn't even know how I would be like, be as a leader and as that support for my other classmates or other friends. So Wallin has helped me grow a lot as a leader and as someone who has like confidence in themselves. I hope the new Wallin scholars would experience a relationship that is beyond academic. I hope they're able to build a relationship that not only with their Wallin advisor, but also with other scholars as well, and build a relationship where they could feel supported and also give support to others as well, and also find confidence in themselves and learn about themselves as well throughout the journey.
My name is Ramadan Umbo. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a 2024 Wallin Scholar. So as a senior in high school, I was working an internship with Genesis Works at Bremer, and so I was working part-time, and I was also doing PSEO at the U of M while also going to school, so I was kind of driving around a lot. So the responsibilities I was carrying was I was also a president of like 2 clubs, and so when it came time for me to apply for schools and scholarships, I was really I wasn't as proactive with it as I should have been. I was a bit behind, and that's when I had a conversation with some of my family members and my sister, and she was also a previous Walden scholar. So she helped me, and she put me on to a lot of resources, and she gave me a list of scholarships, and she especially mentioned Walden because she had a good relationship with her Walden advisor, and she wanted me to also get that same experience. So she mentioned that for me, and I applied, and I got in. So as a Walden scholar, through the conversations that I have with my Walden advisor, she's able to help me not just with my problem exactly, but also think through the problems. Even if she doesn't have the direct answer for me, she can't answer the question, it's something I need to answer myself. She helps me think through to the solution and helps me create a plan to get there. So that's something I've always struggled with before. Once I get to a wall, I don't know how to get over it. But she's able to guide my thoughts and help me get to the place where I know what to do and I know what my next step was. So that's something I used to struggle with. And also when the pressure gets to me, sometimes I start slipping with my time management and stuff like this. But when I have my meetings with her, I'm able to she helps me better manage my time and keeps me on a schedule. I think I've grown in my ability to able to take my thoughts and put into action. Something that my Walden advisor has helped me with is that she's able to help me get my thoughts from outside of my head and guide it towards a positive and productive direction. That's something that I always struggled with, especially in high school, because usually I would just, whenever I'd reach a wall, I wouldn't really know how to get over it. But through being a Walden scholar, my Walden advisor has helped me get over that wall and go towards a direction where I'm not, when I reach that wall, I don't get stuck at it. I can think of many ways to get over that wall and not get stuck at it and just don't know how to take something from inside my mind and put it into action. Having someone in your corner, this might be a little bit of a silly example, but as I came in today actually, I just came from a career fair. And so I was talking with a lot of people, and because of that, I was just my mouth had gotten dry and my lips were dry and it was kind of chapped. And so I didn't have any Vaseline, and so I told my Wallin advisor, I was like, I think my lips are kind of chapped and I'm kind of scared to do this interview. So if you have like Vaseline or something, and she only had chapstick, so she came up with the idea where she got some like cotton swabs, and she went on the like side of the chapstick that like is not touched, and then she like swapped some for me so I could just go to the bathroom real quick and put some Vaseline on. So like that was a time where it was like I needed some support and I didn't really know what to do, and then like you just have someone there to help you and be in your corner. So I haven't ever had like you've had like school counselors and like people who are like supposed to help you in like school or like stuff like that, but I've never had like a direct advisor before. I mean, I've had a coach, but like in sports and like track, I did track, but not someone who you would just sit down and have a conversation with. So something that is like unique about like the Wallin advisors is that when you sit down and you have a conversation with them, it doesn't have like specific focus. I mean, there's some stuff that you have to get done, of course, but like whatever you need in the moment, you can talk to them about. And what I really appreciate about my Wallin advisor is that she doesn't like force us to like have this, oh, we only have to like speak about like academics or whatever. She'll ask like unique icebreaker at the beginning, or she'll say something that like what is something interesting that you get into. Like something recently that like it's kind of just random is that like I never really explored like juices in my life. Like I should just like I drink orange juice or like some random juice, but like my friend, he put me onto passion fruit. I was like, that's good. I never tasted passion fruit before. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like something new. I was like, you know what? Like I might try dragon fruit. Like I never tried this stuff before. So like it's just like you can talk with whatever, and you can have like a casual relationship while also having that person being there for you to help you with like, okay, you need to do this and you need to do this. But like if you have a new interesting hobby, I also like to hear about that, and just having that understanding relationship between the both of you is like it's nice to have that, like especially when you're starting off in your like college career and you don't know how to like approach it fully. So like having someone there for you to like just be like advisor, but also like a friend, and you don't have to be too serious with them. You don't have to like just be like, oh, this is what my homework assignments are or whatever, you know. So that's what I've really appreciated about my relationship with my Wallin advisor. So my journey without Wallin would probably be a lot more disorganized and unfocused. So like, I know I've said this a lot, but like my Wallin advisor really, she helps me like know what I'm gonna do with my ideas. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll have an idea of what I want to do, or like I want to explore this, or I want to see this type of internship and explore what corporate would be like. She would help me create a path so I can do that. Because I'll just have an idea, but it's like unless someone really shows you how to get there, it's much different. You can think of a car, but you can't make one unless somebody like shows you the instruction manual. You gotta have somebody there to focus your energy, especially when you just get into college. You get hit with a lot of stuff that you don't expect, and the environment is completely different from what you're used to, especially depending on the college that you go to. So when you have somebody there in your corner to take your energy that is kind of like dispersed and you don't know where to take it, you're just being taken in every which direction, they help focus you. Okay, this is what you need to know, this is what you need to focus on, this is what is also good for you, and don't waste your time on this. So having someone there to direct your energy and understand what is important is really important, especially as you start like your college career as a Wallin scholar. What I would hope that a Wallin scholar experiences is just growth, like learning how to handle things on their own, because like this is really the first time where people are not really gonna hold your hand. Like in high school, whenever you're gonna do anything, everyone sits down as a class, you sit together and you handle something. But if you don't do something in college, nobody's gonna hold your hand and force you to do anything. So if you don't get anything done, that's on you, and nobody else will help you through it. So just learning how to grow, learning how to plan something, learning how to, when you have something done, you have to get it done. You have an appointment you need to make, you gotta go to the appointment, and making sure that like when you're grown, you don't want to burn bridges. So like when you make a commitment, you need to stick to that commitment. If you say you're gonna be here at a certain time, you need to be here at a certain time. So just growing as a person, growing as a professional, growing as a student, like that is like probably the best thing that you get from being a Wallin scholar, and like relationship with your Wallin advisor. So like your relationship with your advisor is really important. So that's why you want to make sure that whenever you make a commitment with them, you say, I'm going to meet at a certain time. Like, you keep a good relationship and you keep like constant, like your communication with them is clear, because through that relationship, that is how you're going to grow in these aspects. That's how you become a better student, become a better professional, become like just a better person in general. You grow through your relationship with people. So your relationship with your Wallin advisor is really important, because they will take that energy that you have and help you grow in the aspects that what it means to be like an adult. So that's like the most important thing, that you always have clear communication with your advisor, and you don't burn the bridges before you make them. Because if you do, then you won't be able to experience that growth, and you won't get the most from your Wallin experience. Welcome to the Wallin community. Welcome to the Wallin community.
I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a 2025 Wallin Scholar. At the time before I became a Wallin Scholar, I was definitely worried. I didn't know what the future was going to look like. I always knew that I wanted to go out of state, and so that kind of added to it. Although it was a little bit unrealistic for me to want to go out of state, I still wanted to just try and apply to as many schools as possible. And so I did that, but the truth is that going out of state, the cost would be higher and that would be harder for me and my family. But I still wanted to look back on that moment now and know that I had tried. And so I was just trying to push through, still worried. So it was a bit unrealistic for me to want to go out of state or to end up out of state, because most of my family members have stayed in state, and especially as a girl in an immigrant household in an African household, it would be unlikely for me to even dorm, even if it was in state. It's just common for us to stay at home, support our families, and just juggle school as like a thing on the side, but still do well at the same time. But I still knew I wanted to go out of state. I just wanted to be in a different environment, and that would be hard to explain to my family, and that's what made it difficult. I think I've grown in a way that I've become a better self-advocate for myself. Going to college in general, it changes you as a person because you go through a lot of new experiences, but specifically going out of state, there's a newfound independence throughout that journey. And although I had my family obviously come with me to move-in day, it's like at the end of the day, they're gonna leave and I'm gonna be in my dorm by myself, like, okay, what do I do now? And so just navigating that, settling in a new city, in a new campus, new environment, that forced me to become a better advocate for myself and what I needed. Having a Wallin advisor in my corner, I feel like you can never have too much support, especially as a college student. And so although I have my friends, I have my family, I have an academic advisor, it's also nice to know I have specifically a Wallin advisor who has a better outlook on my whole situation, not just my grades or not just what's happening in my personal life. They're able to better advise me through the experiences that I have or challenges that I might face. I think something that my advisor sees in me that I don't, or I struggle to see in myself, is being capable. Most of us can get stuck in where we are currently and not able to see, especially when a challenge arises, not able to see beyond that. But of course, my advisor has advised many other students, and she's seen other students go through various experiences and come out on the other side. So this past semester, I actually had to transfer schools, and navigating that was definitely new for me because it was also in a short period of time. And I had a lot of questions. There were just a lot of bases to cover. There was a financial aspect, there was an academic aspect, there was the documents, the location, communicating with my family or other figures throughout school, between the two schools. And so I had a lot of questions, and so my advisor was able to support me through that. She was where I could direct my various questions to and help me find like other points of contact to find answers. I actually don't even want to think about what it would have looked like for me without Wallin. I think I definitely wouldn't have gone out of state. Like the chances for that would have went down to 0. And although I had to transfer, I don't regret making that decision to go out of state. I feel like Wallin provided that extra safety net for me. As a new scholar or going into your college journey, I think advising is especially important because there will be unexpected things that come in throughout your journey, throughout those 4 years, or even within the first year or the first semester. And your academic advisor is not always going to be able to answer that. Financial aid counselor is not always going to be able to answer that. Your family, your older sibling, they're not always going to be able to answer those questions. And so I think having a Wallin advisor specifically is especially crucial. I hope that a new Wallin scholar is able to enjoy the Wallin community. Obviously, you will have one-on-one meetings with your advisor, but I think it's also important to try to take advantage of the other opportunities that come through like each month. That way you can meet other Wallin scholars, meet other students that may even be at your school. I think that's how you build community, and that's important. Welcome to the Wallin community.
Hi, my name is OJ, he, him pronouns, and I am a 2023 Wallin Scholar. Around that time, applying for all those colleges, I was looking a little bit too low, as in like, I didn't know my fullest potential. I didn't know my strengths, nor did I know what I was really good at the time. And so I was lost. I felt like there was nothing, I actually truly just didn't feel like I was good at anything, whether it was being analytical or being a people person, whatever it may have been. I was just lost at the time, and so I just lacked self-confidence and had such a low self-esteem. It was terrible. Since becoming a Wallin Scholar, I've had the most confidence I've ever had in my life. I thank my Wallin advisor a lot. She helped me build my confidence, build my self-esteem. Whether it was applying for colleges, getting into the U of M, what major I wanted to be, transferring into a whole other business, like into the business school itself, all that it just helped me stand up. It helped me put my chest out and say, yeah, I'm here, I can be successful. Having a Wallin advisor is the most rewarding experience that I've had. I've gotten the most motivation, the discipline. Just having a connection with somebody else who is rooting for you is some of the greatest, it's just a great feeling in general. I think my favorite thing, or favorite few things about my Wallin advisor has been how easy conversations are. I think also how kind she is, how real she is, and how happy she is every time to see her scholars, me, whether it's while we're meeting or whether it's at my job. I think it's a great feeling. It's a real connection. My Wallin advisor sees that I have real potential to do good in this world. And I think with someone like that who is telling you that every month, every week, it makes you want to go harder. So in my sophomore year, I decided to transfer into my college's business school, a huge business school, and that had to delay my graduation from spring 27 to fall 27. And through that, my Wallin advisor was with me all throughout the way, when it came to the finances, when it came to the classes, when it came to how I'm gonna even navigate whether I wanna live on campus or off campus, what that looks like. And just having somebody in my corner helping me through that, it's like you're a boxer, you know, and there's someone there, and you're just ready to fight another round. This political moment has affected what I call family, and Wallin has completely given me a family to lean back on, a community to lean back on, and that has been big and important. And Wallin is responding by, again, just giving us the structure, the community, and the family needed to allow us to continue to move forward even through tough times. My journey without Wallin would look very different to where it's at right now. Personally, financially, professionally, everything. I would not be where I'm at without Wallin, point blank period. Advising matters to me because that is support that you need to go throughout these changes, especially within college. College it's tough. It's a tough time. You're going through changes within yourself. While the world is changing, you have to adapt. You have to change. So Wallin Advising gives you the support to do so and the realness to also know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your goals, and help you get there. I hope new Wallin scholars experience love because that is what I was given, and through that it has helped me shape the life that I want to live currently and shape the life that I want to live tomorrow, the next day, next month, and years to come. And I'm hoping that as the new Wallin scholars come in, they get to feel that and they get to be successful because they are meant to be successful. Welcome to the Wallin community.
My name is Joshua. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a 2023 Wallin Scholar. When I was a senior in high school, I felt lost because I had just missed 2 years of school due to COVID. So when I came back, I didn't have a direction. I was kind of just focusing on school, not much else. However, I wanted to do something that benefits others, which is why I chose a career in dental. Wallin, when I learned about the opportunity in Wallin, that pushed me towards it because I learned about Health Partners Pathway, and I learned that I could also have a mentor in it. And having a mentor with financial benefits as well really pushed me into that direction. So I really appreciate Wallin. I feel like a completely different person, if I've got to be honest. I've definitely matured over the years. I've gotten better at communication. My professionalism has definitely taken a couple steps forward. I also have a more concrete plan going into the future, which is something I'm really happy about and something that I'm going to continue pursuing. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how I have turned out after these years. Having a Wallin advisor in my corner, it feels amazing. It feels like I always have someone to talk to, someone that supports me all the time. When I have any type of question, I can always go to him. And when we first met, I had recently sprained my ankle. So even though that was a physical setback, it kind of bled over to me mentally and like also in school as well. And Joel he helped me get through that. He told me about an experience that he had that was really similar. So I felt like he was really relatable to me. He helped me with my academics, with my physical health, and even my personal life. So I really do appreciate everything he's done for me. My favorite thing about having Joel as my advisor is that it just feels like a very authentic relationship. He's been my mentor for 3 years, and throughout those 3 years, I've never felt like I've always felt like I can talk to him about anything, and I really do appreciate that. I think my advisor saw a lot of potential in me when I first started. When I first started college, I wasn't very motivated or wasn't looking towards the future as much. Joel helped me build a plan, helped me in the present and the future, and even helped me with my experiences in the past as well. During the summer of 24, I had recently gotten an internship with Health Partners. However, that internship collided with a pre-planned vacation that I already had planned. It was very important to me that I went to that. So I went to him asking for advice on how should I approach this to my managers, and he helped me with the email. He told me what to say in person, and ultimately I got what I wanted, was the vacation. I was very happy with that. Without Wallen, I wouldn't be in the place I am today. I think the journey would have been less fun and more difficult. I think I am in a perfect place right now for my future. I have done what I've set to accomplish so far, and I am very excited to see how I do in the future. I feel like advising is super important because they are someone who's been in your shoes before. Someone who can relate to you every step of the way, and just someone you can talk to. Sometimes you just need someone you can talk to help you go through the day, through the week, through the semester. It helps a lot. I hope new scholars remember to have fun. You know, the time passes very quickly, so just going outside, remembering why you're doing it, your future plans, and staying in the present, I think is very important.
Amazing.
Welcome to the Wallen community. Welcome to the Wallen community.
Hello, my name is Perla. I use she, her pronouns. I am a 2024 Wallen Scholar. As a senior in high school, I felt this sort of pressure and fear. I was also excited. I wanted to have my further education, and part of me always knew that I could do it if I put my heart into it. But still, being a first generation student, I was scared of what came after. I had no idea what I could possibly do with that opportunity, and that's what kind of gave me this pressure, because I was like, where do I find help for that? One of the first things that I told my advisor was that I struggled with asking for help. I'm only in my second year in college, but I feel like I'm much better at reaching out for help now than I was back then. So that is definitely one of the things that I've improved on. I feel like I have one more person in my corner. It just feels like I got this weight lifted off of my chest. For example, coming into college, I thought I was going to be a dentist. I thought I was going to do something in STEM, but I realized it wasn't who I was, and I was trying to force myself into something that I didn't want to do in order to kind of like a go big or go home mentality. And it put me really in a dark place when I realized I wasn't good at that, especially as a high GPA kid, and I was really going through it. I felt like I wasn't worthy of an education. I felt like I wasn't invested, but it's like a mental thing. Like saying it out loud now, I'm like, that is crazy. And Pang helped me see that, because like we had that. I even remember like crying to her, and she was just so sweet, and she like reminded me what the worth I had and that I did believe in myself to begin with. So having someone in my corner like that, it feels great. So political wise, I am Mexican American, so the things that are going on, and especially in my community, make me really mad, makes me anxious. And although I was born here, I still carry around my passport, because one may never know. And with the things like FAFSA and grants and things that I get from state, I will get some, but I'm like more nervous about those, because one of my biggest things as a first generation student is that I don't want my parents to have the burden of my trying to help me pay for my education. I want to be able to find a way to provide for myself. So Wallen Scholar, being a Wallen Scholar has like financially helped me in that sort of sense, that I'm like, if things get bad financially, that like university wise we lose money, grants, whatever, I know that I have Wallin there that will be able to loosen that burden for me. Back to that freshman year, being a first-gen student, not really knowing what is going on. I'm like living my dream, but now that I'm in the dream, I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? So she really has supported me in the sense that, like, mental-wise, emotional-wise, she is there reminding me that I am worthy of an education, which is one of like my fears and one of my doubts a lot of the times. I feel imposter syndrome a lot of the times, and she's just there to remind me like, hey, and she pulls out like actual logistics, actual things like, hey, let's look at your grades, for example, your GPA, you're doing great. There's no way for you to have this doubt. And it's great to have someone like that to bring me back to reality and like center me and just remind me of the reality that I am here for a reason and I am worthy of it. At the time, I felt a lot of pressure on me, on my shoulders, and I felt a lot of fear for what came after. Part of me always kind of knew that I could make it to college if I put my heart into it, and I wasn't too worried about that part, but more about what came after. What would I do with it? Once I was there, where would I go? That sort of fear is what I had more than anything on my shoulders at the time. The biggest thing that I have to say is that I've gotten better at asking for help and communicating with people. I consider myself more of an introvert, and coming into college, I realized, even before going into college, that I couldn't do this without asking for help. I couldn't do this alone. I couldn't use my strategy as the oldest daughter to figure things out for myself. Like, I had to ask for help. So it's one of the things that I've improved on significantly since getting into college. When I was a senior in high school, I felt a lot of pressure on my shoulders in the sense that I was scared of the unknown. Part of me always knew that I was worthy of an education, and that if I wanted to get there, I could put my heart into it and get there. But once there, I wasn't sure where I would go with it. And that was like one of my biggest fears at the time. And well, also financially, I wasn't sure how I was gonna pay for it or how it worked, because as a first-gen student, I can't ask like my parents, or I'm the oldest of 4, I can't ask my older siblings. I truly was kind of like on my own, and that sort of fear was a big thing that I felt at the time.
How do you feel you've grown since becoming a Wallin Scholar?
I think I've grown in the sense, I know I have grown in the sense that I am better able to communicate and ask for help. I consider myself an introvert, but coming into college and communicating with my Wallin Scholar, I've been better able to ask for help or find someone who could be able to help me. And although I know I could be much better, I also know there's been such a huge improvement since high school. As a first-gen student of like being something great like a doctor or something, I wanted to be a dentist. But I realized that wasn't me. I didn't like none of that sciencey stuff, I guess. And I felt so bad because I wasn't good at it. And I told Pei, because I felt like I wasn't worthy of an education. Saying it out loud sounds crazy now, but at the time, it's the sort of things that like mental health, it matters. And having her there to show me like proof, like, hey, don't feel this way. Let's take a look at your other classes and your grades from the last semester, and you see how great you are as a student. Like, it's okay. This might just not be your thing, but it doesn't mean you're a bad student. So having someone like that to support me feels great. My advisor sees in me a future, a success in my life, and she like reminds me of it because a lot of the times I have had doubts, and I feel like imposter syndrome for being there. I feel like I'm not worthy of it, and I'm an English major, and English is my second language, so it's kind of crazy to pick it as my major, but she is there to remind me that I am very much worthy of that education, and it feels good knowing that I have someone more to believe in me. Without Wallin, I wouldn't have been able to have such a great advisor who has connected with me on an academic but also personal level. She is someone who cares about me, and first thing she asks whenever we meet together is like, hey, how is your family? How is work? How is school? It's not just how is school. It's not just how is work, but also my family, because she understands that all of those are connected, especially as I am a commuter. I decided to live at home. What is going on with my family also affects me, what is going on academically or work-wise. What is unique about Wallin and why it's important that we also get that academic advisor is that sort of connection and the help that comes with it. Anyone can give you a big scholarship and say, okay, go pursue your education. But then it's like, how do I pursue my education? Who's gonna help me with all the questions that I have? And Pei and I, we have such a great relationship that every single time I have a meeting with her, she asks me like about my family, about work and academics. And that is something really important that like my English advisor won't ask, or my college counselor, advisor, like they won't ask about my family. They don't know about my family. They only know what they see on that paper. So it's definitely something to take advantage of in the good and for the bad. It's not just something to check off the checklist, like, oh, okay, just meet with the advisor. Like it's important to build that relationship. Welcome to the Wallin community. Welcome to the Wallin community. I hope that you take advantage of the academic advisor and the help that you've been provided. I hope you just don't meet up with your advisor, take it off the little checklist and be like, okay, now give me my money, like I've done the homework. It's not about that. It's about building a genuine connection with someone who actually does care about you and won't just look at your grades and see the value for what it is. Like they'll take advantage of that. Build that relationship. They will be there for the good and for the bad.